Okay, so there were some videos you wanted me to see. I think we're starting here. This is the first one, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And here, can I just go full screen and then?
Yeah,
here we go. I guess I don't even know how to use my own equipment.
Have you ever seen that?
I have seen that.
Okay.
And I've got well, do you want me to comment on this now, or you want me to watch the second video?
Watch the second one, and then we'll talk about it because I
Okay.
got a couple things to say.
Okay, so this one, and I'm familiar with this YouTube page.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here's an example of how I contextualize an interaction with Bunny. Help. What help? She asks for help, then walks to the door. Seems pretty clear to me, so I let her outside. Okay. Pretty windy outside, though. You sure you want to be out here? Uh-oh, there goes the door. Yeah, it's kind of cold outside today. After seeing how cold and windy it was, Buns decides that inside is the place to be. Then she heads back to the board.
You want me to pause?
Yeah, you can pause it right there.
Else with me.
Okay. So I'm not familiar with this page, and I'm not saying anything bad about this creator or anything, but my thing is I'm not so sure that these pets are actually communicating in the way that these owners think.
Okay, now I didn't know which ones videos you were gonna pick.
Yeah.
The first one I had seen, the TikTok one.
Yeah.
But let's start with this one because it was this channel, and this is What About Bunny, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another channel, and it's something speaks whatever there's a cat. And it was all started through. There was a research group doing research to find out how many words you could train an animal, and there's more that you can train dogs than you can cats.
Right.
But it was this channel and the other channel. Now everyone seems to do it, and you seem to be able to buy these buttons at like Walmart or something.
Yeah.
But I've seen with this channel, what I want to say is like the most proof. I've seen Bunny, the dog here, articulate like feelings. Like one time, she had hit, I think, the button that said like anxious or something, and then the mom was like, "About what?" And then she hit stranger outside, and then the mom got up and looked outside and was like, "Oh yeah, it's the neighbor." And I'm thinking, okay, the dog heard something outside, was feeling weird about it, and I kind of thought that was kind of cool. I mean, in my head, I've always kind of wanted a dog, and I thought I would do this.
Right. Yeah.
But now the first video, the TikTok.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with that. It's funny for TikTok.
Right.
Are you not training the dog then? Or are you just doing a joke?
Yeah. Right. Because like, how many of those buttons actually would say like "bitch"?
Well,
you know, that could be the thing. Is that like maybe all those buttons? So it could be funny to regardless. Like maybe the dog is whatever they press, it's gonna be that.
Well, no. My deal is like you're training them that this means this. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you're not going to take it seriously, you're just going to screw them up,
Yeah.
and they won't know like what you're talking about or.
Okay, so I guess backtracking. So I think that my biggest thing is so I believe that there are intelligent animals out there. Like I'm not saying that the animals and like dogs and cats and whatever pets don't have any intelligence.
Sure.
I just don't think that they can properly communicate on the level that some of these owners think.
I don't know. This one in particular, and I'm surprised you picked this one.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's a lot of like not legit ones, and I think this is the legit one. Although I've heard a lot of people like duet these videos and comment on them and say, you know, oh, I heard the dog did this and I heard the dog did that. And I'm thinking I've seen most of them and I don't remember any of that. But I will say this one seems to be the most interesting. Like the dog once was like clearly sleeping and dreaming and it looked like it was having like a a nightmare or something. And she came over and like pet him slowly, like it's okay, it's okay. And the dog woke up kind of startled, and then stood up and like kind of looked around. She's like, "Are you okay?" And the dog walked over and hit before, and then she's like, "What before?" And it was like dreaming. And then she's like, "Yeah, you were dreaming before. What was it about?" And then it hit like stranger and dog. It's like, "Oh, a strange dog was bothering you?" And the dog hit yes. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's nuts. I don't think I've ever tried to have a conversation with an animal about its dreams.
I don't know because
You don't buy into any of that?
I really, I'm sorry, I don't. Like, I don't know. I like I said, animals are intelligent and they have, their feelings, and things that they go through, and I'm not discrediting any of that, but like, I don't know. There's a couple things, because it's, number one, like, what is this happening in other countries? Are other countries doing this with pets and communicating?
You know what? That's a good question. I've only seen, well, you know what? No, I've seen English people. So in England and then Australia.
Okay.
Australia.
Yeah.
But outside of English speaking countries, I have not seen it.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it either.
But I don't get recommended a lot of videos that aren't in English.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. And I was like searching for it. And I'm like, I don't see this happening in other countries. So I guess one thing, it's weird. It's, like, I don't know, I don't know if it's the majority in America. But strange that it's, English speaking countries for one.
Okay.
And two, I don't know. I'm just not.
But you can train a dog to like sit or stay or heel.
Yes, yeah, I get that.
So you know that they understand certain words.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just not sure that like, because you have to be able to like translate what a dream means to a dog. So like,
yes, and this channel in particular, it talked a lot about the training, and they started out with, I believe, just 1 or 2 buttons.
Yeah.
And I think this dog, because I have 2 dogs, and they're both doing it, but I think this one is this is the original one, and I believe they're up to 40 some buttons.
Yeah.
Which seems to be about the limit. Even to incorporate a new button, they have to talk a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I understand it could be a process. It's not like, day one type thing.
Well, how old do you think, like, if you were to translate this into human intelligence, how old do you think like a dog like this would be? Like a 1-year-old or 2-year-old? Because they say like pigs are really smart, and some of those pigs that people keep as pets, I've heard are the equivalent of like a 3-year-old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was probably saying like a 3 or 4-year-old. I would say so.
Oh, okay. I thought pigs were smarter, but okay. But either way, I mean, you got kids, where they were at different ages.
Yeah.
So isn't it sort of like that? There's a certain amount you can teach them, and
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, like, because the other thing too is that like you don't have a whole lot of like inner species communicating like
no, that's why I think this is cool.
Yeah, because I mean, dogs are not communicating with cats, or like with aside from like signs of like aggression or other things like that, or like marking territory. Animals aren't really communicating with each other.
Well, I mean, they do through whatever noises they make, but I would say it's probably not as intricate as our language.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things I think is cool, is because we were always able to like give a dog a command or something, or call them or something like that. But a lot of times when they were trying to get your attention or humans' attention to go do something, like come follow me or open this for me, or they would make noises and touch it with their paw, but what they really meant is difficult to figure out. So I think this is. It's an interesting way to show a window into.
Yeah, I suppose.
Are you buying it a little bit, Mal?
I don't know.
I think that a lot of it's faked, but I think this one is legit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, nothing against this creator, and like I said, this was like I stumbled upon this video, and then I think towards the middle, the owner was like, after, she was like, from here on, it got a little bit, like confusing or complicated, like trying to communicate, like, you know, the dog was kind of maybe like all over the place with whatever.
And I've seen the dog get a little frustrated sometimes, you know, and the owner sits there and she works with him or works with her. And,
Yeah. And I have kids and you know, I think like my youngest, you know, just when she's trying to like communicate with everyone and maybe she says a word wrong and nobody understands her. She says something and, you know, she starts getting frustrated. So I get that part of it when she feels like no one can understand what she's saying. And she's like, I'm saying, you know, she thinks she's saying it clearly, but then, you know, gets frustrated. So.
Oh, now I feel kind of bad because your family was over here, what was it, like 2 weeks ago or something? Yeah. And they were swimming and she was saying something to me and she kept repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
And I looked at your like middle daughter and she just kind of like shrugged her shoulders like, eh. Yeah. And so I thought it was kind of funny. So I looked at her and I was like, what are you saying? And I said something that I knew she wasn't saying.
Yeah.
And then she said whatever she was saying again. And then I said the false thing again. And then she goes, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I thought we were joking around here, but you are now mad at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoops.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, I don't know, maybe when, you know, same type of thing when, you know, you're trying to communicate with someone,
right.
You know, and you get frustrated because they're like, why don't you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Well, live and learn.
Yeah.